Hello friends, welcome back to a new episode of Noobs in the Skies. Today we have a Terran versus Terran, the first one of this entire series. And as always, I'm joined by Lambo. What's up, buddy?
Hello. As always, glad to see another TvT. Things that I always sign up for and do on my free time.
It's the first one. Surely it can't be so bad. I like that both of them also decided to send out, I think, one of their first workers. We have our red Terran player, who is opening up with a wall in his natural and is now pulling 5 SCVs to the low ground.
Yep. Predicting a proxy 4 Rex. And he's trying to find it while the blue Terran player is doing the ultimate IQ move of going proxy CC first, which looks like a 4 Rex if the other guy can't count SCVs. Oh my god.
There's actually no way this is legit.
He's looking! He's gonna find the CC with 5... Dude. It's not even worth it for 6 SCVs.
He can cancel, and the blue Terran is going to be ahead. No, he pulls back. You think he's gonna turn around with the SCV? Surely. Once he sees this.
One is enough already to deny it.
Yeah, but are you really gonna risk it? I guess he is. No unit has started yet at home either. The SCV indeed starts pounding away at the SCV building the CC. Gas has started on the side of the blue Terran as well, as the barracks has finished there too.
Oh.
And, ooh, bunker. I kind of like that.
Look at the SCVs. They're walled out of the natural. Oh no. Wait, where are they going now? They're checking for another CC.
You know what's the sickest thing of all of this, though? Is that he noticed that an SCV was going on the map and that was at a suspicious timing. So there is something there, you know, but I'm not sure how good this was. At the end of the day, we see blue starting 2 command centers before red managed to start a single command center. We have a marine halfway across the map. There's now a bunker being built in a location that doesn't threaten any of the first 5 bases. I'm curious what this bunker is going to achieve. I'm curious who is actually ahead. But looking at the situation, I'd honestly give a pretty major lead here to blue.
Yeah, I mean, if he can defend this marine SCV attack, whatever you want to call it, because the blue Terran hasn't really managed to build any units yet either, so we can't forget about that. And the contain is looking fierce with a bunker and a turret. So he's ready against ground, air, and then extra ready against air, just in case there's a Banshee with cloak.
You know what's so weird though, is that the eBay is built in a location that actually blocks off the Reaper jump spot. So the red Terran is aware that there is a Reaper jump spot that can be blocked with a single building, but then also somehow believes that this bunker turret contain, off of his own 1 base eco, is going to achieve anything even remotely valuable, while continuing to scout for potential proxy bases with 4 SCVs. Like, this has been one of the most inefficient counters to proxy. Did he just mule? Okay, the mules looked red. For a second I thought that it was the red player who muled. I got real confused there.
Yeah. I mean, he's attacking now with the 3 marines. He realizes that the blue Terran player is being greedy with a double expand. He has no units. He has 1 marine, so yeah, he's gonna force a lift on the CC. But now a tank is out, so that should secure the natural eventually from the blue Terran.
Yeah, eventually. Somehow our red Terran actually seems to perfectly stay out of range. I guess for now just mainly focus on taking out these 2 pesky refineries. We still have that bunker to fall back to as well. And I mean, as long as you have 2 bases mining against 1 base mining, life generally is going to be good. So red should be pretty happy with this situation. We have 2 more factories going down for our contained Terran player, who has finished an armory as well, and whose second tank is now out on the map. Now, I hope that the blue Terran is also aware that he can technically just A-move with 2 tanks and 1 marine. Doesn't need to siege up, well, once again out of range of these 3 marines. You could just A-move this and it should be no issue whatsoever.
These marines are being perfectly spaced out by Matcha Crab, who knows the tank range perfectly.
Even without seeing the tanks.
Yeah, it's very difficult. He's doing it without even knowing where they are. It's very impressive. I mean, he has a feeling for it. Look. Barely gave it the tank vision there.
Yeah,
It was unlucky.
the contain lives on. And take a look at what's going on the right side of the map as well, if you haven't quite noticed yet. There's 2 turrets going down right now. So anything that wants to leave the main base is going to have a very difficult time. We see another SCV that is now making a little bit of a turn. It wouldn't surprise me if we see either another turret or perhaps another bunker being thrown down. The one sad thing here for Matcha Crepe is the fact that technically our blue Terran could just expand in a line, and then none of this would be relevant whatsoever. Matcha Crepe has lost an infinite amount of mining time, it feels like. The natural is now mining, starts Marauder production, so seemingly aware of the fact that this is mech, or perhaps just really likes Marauders in general. We have 5 mines on the way for chocolates here. This has been an interesting start of the game.
Yeah, I think if the Red Terran actually would learn to spend his money and his multitasking on building units instead of turrets, he would be quite a bit higher than his opponent in terms of MMR. Because I think he's playing faster and stuff. Like, even the shift flicks with the SCVs was pretty impressive, considering what we've seen now. Searching for the entire map. Also knowing that there's a proxy in general seems higher level than I would guess it is now.
Yeah. And there's a decent control as well on these Marines, you know? He saw that there was mines there and pulled back. Now he attacks into them, but yeah, that happens to the best. Okay, never mind on the micro. The rest still stands. I mean, he walked away initially, and then I guess he just wasn't aware of the range of the mine. So not the best knowledge, but still knew that walking away initially was a good move. We do have a proxy third base coming down here out of Matcha Crepe as well on the far right side of the map. That is, honestly, on this map, proxy bases are relatively bad because all of them do get spotted by a watchtower, one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the best proxy base you can take is maybe the one behind the gold, I guess. The gold minerals at your opponent's natural, because I feel like that's the last one that gets scouted.
Yeah, perhaps. But even that is, I mean, it's so close to your opponent, it feels kind of useless. Do have a little bit of a tank marauder assault right now over here on this third base. Mules have landed and once again are going to get taken out. It's the second time that a fresh round of mules here is going to not get too many mining rounds in. Oh, mines are going to burrow. Will take out this tank. No, instead focus on one marauder. Tank will still fall. These mines perhaps also in some trouble. With the armory, of course, the moment the scan runs out, will be invisible once again. So we see Matcha Crepe here running away with the 2 marauders that still remain, bringing them to safety, and the safety of the turrets, of course, with that detection. And if there's any potential drops or banshees helping out these mines, then these marauders are definitely going to be safe. Worker count is 34 to 45. Bio against mech. The age-old battle continues here, with so far the mech player being significantly further ahead than whatever it is that Matcha Crepe is doing.
Yeah, that he is. But I mean, I also would think at this level, mech units are just better than bio units as long as you siege them up. But the thing that Matcha Crepe is doing here is he's going Marauder tank because he realizes he's safe against air with mass turrets, which he does already have 13 turrets on the map, so he's pretty safe against any type of air unit. So he's just focusing on the units that are good against ground. He's pretty much figured out that Marines are useless at this point, and he's just producing Marauders and tanks, which both outrange the Widow Mines, and Marauders themselves are also pretty good against tanks, so not the worst unit composition, I guess.
Yeah, I don't completely mind it. And as you've mentioned before, it does feel like that Matcha Crepe has significantly better mechanics, but his plan seems to be so much worse that the mechanics can't really make up for it. Because his money has been low for a very long time. His unit control has been pretty decent as well. But the random turret spam, the quite frankly, pretty terrible build order, if we could call it that, has not been helping him out. We have another 3 turrets here being constructed right at this moment, despite his opponent not even having a starport yet in this game. Like, this is a lot of money that is being spent in static defense against units that aren't a threat and will not be for the next 5 minutes or so.
I think he selects the idle worker hotkey and he sees where they are and then he just adds turrets. Like, why is he making this? This is so funny to me. I don't know why he's making this many turrets, man. He saw only Widow Mines and tanks so far. This is a man that has lost the battle cruisers one too many times, and it ain't happening to him once more. If you ever blink into his base with a battle cruiser, he ain't coming out. But look where he's making the turrets. The next one is next to the watchtower, the top right watchtower. I don't know what they're doing there. Also, turrets, it's not like turrets even kill battlecruisers if they're built one by one. The only thing that would actually counter is, I guess, Banshees.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the SCVs! Oh, those turrets. I wonder if he's gonna send new SCVs to finish them. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, because this is a key location that he wants to defend. So it would make sense to me that he sends at some point SCVs will come. It's not going to be immediately. No, actually, it is immediately. There they come. Holy crap. This guy's, he's really quite fast. He's really quite quick. We have a little bit more money in the bank right now, as these mines are being quite annoying against the tanks. Of course, not quite knowing exactly where those mines are can be a little bit bothersome. Tanks now start shelling away at the factory of chocolates that has been spotted. A single scan here could take out a bunch of these mines. Don't forget that chocolate doesn't have a single planetary. And tanks are in pretty poor positions as well, which means that honestly, if Matcha Crepe just continues pushing this with turrets and tanks, he's probably going to be in a position where he can deny his opponent's fort base.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder what the counter would be if... Because I don't see Matcha Crepe in any universe ever kill chocolates if he maxes out on tank Widowmine. Like, what would you even tell a Terran player to do? Just more tanks, or...?
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're just losing their air units against the Widowmines. Tanks counter literally every ground unit.
You just get your own tanks, I guess, and deny outside bases. It's not like the defensive tank position here for chocolates is powerful enough, right? Look at this. I think both of these tanks are in each other's range. Just having a stare off. Yeah, there comes the scan. Matcha Crepes realized it first. Can he also shoot the other tank? Yeah, that's also in range.
Yeah. Oh, the Widowmines gave their life for the tank to win the tank battle. So nice move there from Chocolates, who now has 4,000 minerals in the bank, which isn't really that useful for him because he's not spending it on turrets like Matcha Crepe is.
Or cars. I mean, you could definitely build a couple of cars right now. Don't think there's a single factory at the moment that does have a reactor. No, actually, there's two.
Well, of course, he's messing Widowmines.
Keep forgetting he's messing mines.
There's a massive trap for battlecruisers blinking in on the left side of the rich gas.
Yeah. Yeah, if the BCs or the Vikings ever show up there, then that's pretty much game over for them. There's 16 mines in total right now. That is still significantly less than there are turrets on the map currently, so just keep that in mind. His two unsieged tanks will take out the one siege tank that was there for Matcha Crepe. Big stim forward though, coming out of our red Terran player, will snipe one tank. Scans forward, sees that it's an isolated tank, will move in and perhaps even go have a look to see what's going on at the third base. Realizes tanks are in position and most likely is going to lose the rest of these marauders too. More and more tanks coming out here of our blue Terran player. Currently tank count is 11-4 in favor of the meching Terran. And really our bio player doesn't have a whole lot to make up for it. So this isn't looking all that hot right now.
They're trying to get in range so the siege tanks can shoot. But it is very, very short range that you actually need to go so they can shoot. But still, single target tanks deal actually quite well with the siege depth tanks from Matcha Crepe, and he's now doubling the supply of his opponent. Also has doubled the bank pretty much, and better upgrades for the units that he has. So he is in a commanding position, but so far he has played it quite slow. So there's still room for recovery for the red Terran.
I have a feeling that Chocolates is not much of an aggressive Terran player. You know, I feel like he would describe himself as a turtle mech player as well. And where sometimes turtle mech players, once they realize they have double the supply and triple the eco and 5 times the upgrades, they'll attack. I have a feeling that Chocolates is the type of guy that really gets a lot of pleasure from just mining every single mineral. You know, he plays one game a day, and the game needs to be at least 45 minutes, otherwise it didn't count.
He was the biggest Goody fan.
Yeah.
I mean, he is mined out in his main and long distance mining right now with a lot of SCVs from the next CC that he's taking. And yeah, no signs of moving out yet. He did send a Hellion run by, but that was already a minute ago, and it's kind of stuck next to a tower. It might find a command center, but the command center already preempted the move with a watchtower and has 5 SCVs loaded up.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
Could also morph it into a planetary at some point. Liberator's now pushing forward, so it does feel like Matcha Crepe kind of knows what he's doing here in order to break that tank contain. Oh, mines do move forward. Can Liberator shoot at mines? Surely they can, right?
Yes. Yeah, of course. Mines are no buildings.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never seen that interaction in my life, so I started to doubt myself.
I haven't seen it either, but yeah, theoretically, if Matcha Crab understands that Tank Liberator is a thing, he can definitely just win with Tank Liberator, because the Widow Mines can't run close enough, since the tanks should be able to kill them.
Right.
And then Liberators obviously kill the tanks. So this is what I mean, obviously I knew that this was an option, but I thought this would be way too high level, which once again goes to show that Matcha Crab has some advanced stuff that he's able to pull off. Like this Liberator micro, I did not think would be possible.
Yeah, and he's also very properly just crawling forward with these tanks one by one. Well, okay, this is not super proper, but
Yeah.
I thought he was going to do it properly. You know, he understands how to move. He understands how to do a lot of things, and then yeah, it just feels like it's two players playing at once. The turrets.
What? How did? Oh, you didn't see that, right? With the Widow Mines?
On the Liberator?
Can a Liberator? Yeah. Why didn't they shoot? Only a single mine shot.
I don't know.
Can Liberators? Is this a bug that mines can only fire at Liberators one at a time?
Maybe.
That looks so weird. I want to look back at it in the replay. 1640. I'm gonna write it down.
All right. While you write it down, we'll have a look at the Matcha Crab, who is now actually being attacked here by a slowly but surely Chocolate, who moves forward bit by bit, siege by siege, and it's getting closer and closer to the natural. We see as a response more turrets being built in front of the natural this time. I am not quite sure if Matcha Crab understands how the turret actually works. Perhaps he believes that it's just static defense like a cannon is or like a spine crawler is. But that's not quite the case. It doesn't attack ground, of course. Mines now moving forward will take out a tank. More tanks unsieging. How can I beat this? Asked Matcha Crab. As we're... well, the game is fairly over. I had not expected it to end like this, Lambo. I had not.
No, neither did I. And it's also just like a quarter of Chocolate's army that ends up killing Matcha Crab, which makes it even a little bit more sad. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. At this level, Tank Widowmine is actually a very smart composition to go for. So Chocolate's with a high IQ army composition here. And I think he figured it out with the Tank Liberator. It's just that if you have only one tank and one Liberator against a maxed out Tank Widowmines force, then it's not the answer. But if you have more tanks lined up and then you siege the Liberators, then the Chocolates could not have done anything.
Oh, this is kind of wholesome in a way.
It is.
Yeah. Saying that he's not smart enough to properly give advice. Never knows if he's winning or losing. Huh. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I think it's more of a supply issue as well, right? Like, you can have the perfect army composition, but if you're down 150 supply, life generally is going to be quite difficult. Now I have a Liberator sieging up as Matcha Crab is still holed up in his main base and isn't really giving up. I'm never a huge fan of this move, to be honest, Lambo. I'm gonna be real with you. People that talk, you know, in a friendly way and then continue playing, that is really not okay. I'm not fine with that, and especially asking advice and then continuing to play. Like, you need to give up at that point. You need to stop playing. You know, fly your command centers across the map into your opponent's turrets if they have any, or into your opponent's army, so they know that you've truly given up. Because otherwise, I'm not answering either. Like, I'm playing until I know that I'm getting my ladder points. Yeah,
I do recall a situation on your stream where this happened. I kept playing and you were modding over it. So I know you don't like that type of stuff. But yeah, it also looked like the way he was phrasing it that he already has given up. So not sure what he's doing. Since he's still making extra CCs and extra factories. At the very least, he understands that he needs more factories for siege tanks. Now, which one of those players actually was the one that sent in the replay? Is Chocolate?
I think it was the Red Terran player. So...
Oh my god, then we might be in...
This is why I was still expecting the comeback as well, you know? Because
yeah, now I'm expecting it. Because why would he send it in if he just dies like this?
Yeah, you can never be sure enough. But why would he send it in general, if he ends up looking like a little bit of a prick because he was stalking like he already was dead, you know? Never try to understand the submitters. It's a mistake that I've made in the past that I'm not making again. But yeah, for the people unaware, so far I think in one of the episodes, out of what is it, this is the 15th episode,
yeah.
I think one person has sent in a loss. Everyone else has sent in a win so far. So yeah, it's It is possible that this is the second one, but I'm still kind of hoping for some type of a comeback. We have Thors on the way right now, which is, I think, the one factory unit that you really... Well, actually, there's multiple factory units you don't want. I think you just want tanks if you're Matcha Crepe in this situation. Liberators are definitely helping out. As 2 more tanks will most likely fall. Yep, there we go. SCVs have a surround here on the command center in the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's going to lift in time. Let's take a look at the first person here for Matcha Crepe. Oh, there we go. Nice little lift. We'll fly it back home to the safety of a planetary.
You know, I learned something during this episode, which kind of was obvious to me before, but now that I saw it, at first it looked really weird to me. It's that Widow Mines never lock onto the same target. Because once again, he like went below the Liberator with 5 mines, and the first one locked on, then shot, and only then the next Widow Mine locked on and shot. And that's so they obviously don't all lock onto the target that runs into range first, because usually that's always the same.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. I just now realized it, because the mines are not actually that good against a single libs.
Yeah, it's a weird little interaction. More Thors on the way for both players now, by the way. I'm not entirely sure what I think of this. I'm also not entirely sure what I think of the 3 queued up Thors in both the factories in the main base. And then nothing being queued up in the factories that are at the planetary base. We have a CC that's being repaired. We have a barracks producing single marines at the 12 o'clock. 2 Liberators now trying to siege up near the middle watchtower, right side watchtower. Will not get anything for it though. As Hellions start attacking this planetary, I have a feeling this is not quite going to work out if Matcha Crepe at some point responds with a repair.
Yeah, it really shouldn't. Hellions not exactly good against planetaries. Even maybe if it doesn't repair. I guess they're nicely fanned out. Chocolate's now also attacking the planetary at the right side with a quick repair and a couple of tanks in position. He needs to siege them further down though. Otherwise the planetary there will eventually die as well. While the planetary on the left side survived the Hellion onslaught. As I mean, Matcha Crepe is now basically just playing mech as well. And he has shown that he has played better with his units, I would say. Like, better unit control than his opponent, so... If he ever was to max out, I see a world in which he wins. I also think this bank can be entirely useless, because Chocolate is not producing any units now, so if he loses a fight, I don't see why this would change. Widow Mines borrowing forward. There was multiple Widow Mines now shooting the same Thor, wasn't it? Man, I don't... Maybe it was just one per Thor.
We'll check it out in the unit test afterwards, Lambo. We're gonna...
I will, I'm so interested. It's because it's important for the Ultra disc, you know? I'm trying to think right now. If I send an Ultra forward, I think it gets hit by multiple Widow Mines, but I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not so sure either. Hellions have given up on trying to take out the planetary. Instead, we'll go for the orbit or the command center that was flying over to, what is that, maybe the 8 o'clock, 8.5 o'clock. And as I said, of course, the Hellions now turn into Hellbats. We're going to get a repair on this planetary, so the Hellbat should not be capable of taking out the planetary. Perhaps could take out a bunch of these workers, though, which is indeed what they're going to end up doing. Some nice control here out of Chocolate, who is now producing Thors 3 at a time. A bunch of Widow Mines are being thrown out here as well, as Matcha Crepe, I think, has the highest supply that he has had in the past, well, 10 minutes or so, as he's actually above 100 supply, which is nice. He has a good tank count, hardly has any useless units. So, like, he has, like, 6 Marines, and those are the only useless units. He's also only on 26 workers.
He does have 4 Thors that are stuck in his base, so for now, those are useless as well. He has a nice SimCity there. It's so funny, because some of the things he did, like, he put that eBay to block Hellion run-bys, and then he wanted to wall the right side of the planetary as well, which is super high level compared to this. And then he has some other moments that look slightly questionable. Now the Widow Mines once again trying to fire at Thors. While I'm not sure where the rest of Chocolate's supply is. I guess he just has stuff spread out everywhere.
Yeah, he has a backlog of tanks just absolutely everywhere. Also, Chocolate hasn't really expanded very much, trying to take other bases. Resources lost is honestly surprisingly even. I really had thought that Matcha Crepe would be ahead in resources lost, but he's actually behind. Liberators will now find a Thor that was being surrounded by SCVs to get that repair in. At the same time, we have another attack most likely coming in. We see at the left side watchtower a bunch of Thors and mines. Hellions also moving in, and I think this time they should be capable of getting, well, either the orbit on the 8 o'clock or the planetary on the 9 or the 10 o'clock, whatever that is going to be. At the same time, Matcha Crepe perhaps now planning on making a little bit of attack of his own. Maybe go towards the middle, although none of these bases are really mining anymore.
Yep. I mean, Matcha Crab not exactly doing a lot of mining himself either. Now finally started mining some gas at the planetary location, so he can make more mech units. But other than that, not much mining going on for him either. So yeah, Chocolate's taking out the orbital on the left-hand side, which never really got to mine there anyways. And let's see if Matcha Crab responds with something. I mean, either he can pull units over to defend, or he's gonna attack, and he's unsieging his tank, so I'm assuming he's gonna siege forward.
Yeah. The two Marauders from the very early game were still standing next to the turrets, begging for safety. And right now they're being extra secured by a Liberator as well that's sieging forward. I think there's almost no mining whatsoever for either player. There's still 55 workers though for Chocolates. I'm not quite sure where they are. I guess a lot of them are just idling in the natural or at the third base or surrounding a Thor that is already at full health. Well, he still has one base that could use a couple more SCVs here. Instead, the main focus is on those 3 Thors and the 4 Hellbats. Tanks are in position though, as well as 4 more Thors that have finally escaped the main base are helping out. And this is going to be a real good fight immediately here for Matcha Crab, taking out 4 Thors, losing a couple of units of his own, but not really the end of the world. Chocolate is maxed out, although I'm not really, once again, not really seeing where that supply is.
Yeah, he has a lot of Hellion Widowmine just standing around. And other than that, just a lot of units split, to be honest. It doesn't seem to be an F2 enjoyer, that's for sure. Maybe he doesn't know the hotkey exists even.
Yeah. Mine's not really gonna get the kills here on the Thors like I thought they would. At the same time, Hellions attacking into the tank Thor at home for Matcha Crab. 3 more Thors as well as 5 more mines now being constructed. This has been a very interesting little game as an orbital command will get taken out here. We have turrets falling. What's the overall turret count right now? Back down to 23. Matcha Crab gonna be feeling a little bit naked with that little turret. Sieges, Liberators on top of Thors is not going to be the most helpful thing here. This is a very uncommon game so far.
Yeah, it's an uncommon game. You can let us know in the comments if you'd like to, for us to allow to speed up. Maybe Bronze replays that go 40 minutes long. At some point, because my call would be that we should be allowed to do that in the downtime. Either way, I mean, Matcha Crab is still looking completely dead, and I'm wondering why he sent in this replay. It's starting to dawn on me that he just wanted us to watch this replay, so we can tell him what is the answer to Mass Widowmine Siege Tank. Which, sir, you need to get more economy up and then make units, any units to be honest. You could have done the same unit composition that you made this game. But just, you need to produce more SCVs, keep expanding, focus on your macro. I think that's the easiest way to beat stuff like this. Don't worry too much about the unit composition.
Although,
also, another thing... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If you're gonna get a unit composition, let it just be tank lib. I mean, that would work absolutely fine. Get range on the Liberators as well, on the Fusion Core would be fairly helpful. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you want a unit composition, yeah, mass siege tanks, just big units. I feel like just tank Thor should be completely broken at this level, because the Thors, they shoot both ground and air, and then they have very high HP pool, so it doesn't really matter if you don't look at them too much, and then the tanks just destroy everything. So I think his unit composition was fine. Just the macro was lacking a little bit, and I'm still Chocolates is not attacking. He has a siege now with about 20 Widow Mines on what is supposed to be the third base of Matcha Crab, but it was never taken as a third.
Yeah.
And other than that, literally nothing is happening right now. We have... Dude, he's never gonna kill the building. He's 44 Widow Mines! What?
Where are they? They're all at home as well. I think I realized there's another minefield over there. This is nice.
No
he actually
way.
has no real units though. There's like 3 tanks and 6 Thors. But
yeah, that's what's so scary for me, because he can't kill buildings. So we're gonna sit here forever. I really don't think... Do you think Matcha Crab still can make a comeback happen? Like, if Matcha Crab gets up to 120 supply siege tank and just has them sieged up, the Widow Mines can't do shit. So...
You know, there's another layer to this. So, for the people that are not aware, which is probably most, is we have a guy that anonymizes the replays for us. So, neither of us know the names in the replay, and we don't see the leak of the people either, you know? So we have to guess fairly. he usually goes over the replays to make sure they're not completely idiotic. So far, this replay has been fairly one-sided. This is kind of like watching a movie that is, dubbed as a mystery movie, on IMDb. There's going to be a twist in there somewhere. You're just not quite sure where it's going to come. And sometimes there's no twist at all. And I'm not entirely sure. I feel like something still has to come, because otherwise I'm going to need to have a talk with the guy that anonymizes the replays, because this is not okay. I have an actual tech with the mines, which means that these factories are not going to be capable of producing for much longer anymore. Liberator's gonna get taken out in the main. I think the main, you could give up the main, honestly. By the time you clean that up, it's going to be years from now. Let's face reality here. There's not that much gas left for chocolates. That could be bad, because then it's just going to be a pure mine army. But I also am not seeing Matcha Crepe here transitioning into a better army. If anything, he's transitioning into a worse army. 2 more barracks, producing marauders is not really going to be the answer here for him.
Yeah, I maybe this is revenge, because we didn't shout him out in the last couple of episodes, so we need to fix that.
Surely this is not the way to get a shout out. No such thing as bad publicity, I guess. Shout out to the guy rooting 32 minutes of my life. Nah, of course.
32 so far, please.
So far, exactly.
Well, I don't see quite yet how the Widowmines are going to beat the Planetary, so we have to wait for a little bit.
Yeah, this is... Okay, 2 more I'm also just not seeing how much Akrab is going to make a comeback if all he's doing is building more bio units. Like, this seems fairly impossible. He has 51 supply. He's fighting 194 supply. Mines, I think, took out their own Thor with splash damage, or maybe it was the Marauder who dealt the final shot. It looked like it was a mine doing it. I mean, the main base is now gone. The line 3rd base for Matcha Crepe is also under heavy siege, although the Planetary is going to hold strong for a little bit. I'm fairly confused. What is the overall mine count? 52 mines are out right now. How many have gone down? 90 mines have gone down so far this game, and there's 51 on the map. That means 141 mines have been produced so far. And this is the oddest game I think we've had so far, by far as well.
Yeah, by far. Yeah, it beats anything by a mile. To be honest, the only way that Matcha Crepe is gonna win this is if he pauses the game and he has on control V, he has left the game. And he hopes the other guy leaves by accident. And that might be the twist to save this game. But I hope it's coming soon.
I hope it's coming soon as well. There is I think in StarCraft 2 there's a limit to how long a game can be, and it's actually relatively short. I think it's like something like, it's either 6 hours and 50 minutes or like 16 or 17 hours and 50 minutes, like a specific number of seconds. And after that the game just crashes from both sides. So potentially we'll be waiting for this, but for now Matcha Crepe just building a cheeky little armory over here on his right side Planetary. He's continuing to macro up now, building Hellions one at a time. I'm not quite sure what the use of the Hellion is going to be against this composition, but you absolutely love to see it. Chocolates is playing this out real slow. Still, could have probably done this a little bit quicker, but it's taking his sweet time. Taking out every structure in the main, and slowly but surely going to make his way over towards that right side, I can only imagine. A couple more Thors here being sent out, as there's one Thor that has been holding the watchtower for, I think, the past 8 or 9 minutes now.
Yeah, I mean, he might still not know that he's winning. In all fairness to him, like, he might actually just generally don't know. If there's let's say there's 20 tanks bunched up there, hidden, or a hidden tech switch, like he might have lost a game before where all of a sudden 10 BCs show up and he's like, what the hell?
I'm not blaming Chocolates here at all.
Yeah, for sure. No, we're blaming Matcha Crepe for setting in the replay.
But yeah, is anyone blaming? It's gonna be Matcha Crepe. Holy cow. The Thors will start working on this Planetary, but only 2 of them are attacking. Moves forward, so all of them start shooting. Marine Marauder also moving in. Planetary will fall as the mines now start burrowing forward, and surely this is gonna be one of the last fights now, as a mine flank runs in. Every single Marauder is dying. It's just pure barracks production at this point as well. Like, there's literally no factory units at all. There's like a couple of tanks, I think. There's 2 tanks, there's 1 Liberator. The rest is all bio units. This can't be it. Turret's also still being taken out. Turret count is now down to 20, the low 20s. It's not quite what you want.
Okay, surely this is it. He's at 30 supply. He's lifting the barracks now. Making sure to retreat to a safe location on the high ground where he has 2 tanks.
If he floats to the top right, I'll actually find his email and start flaming. I start signing him up to like websites. 10% discount. Like, there's no way. I know these people. Like, I have their email. Like, that is a risk that they're taking if they send it in. If you send in crap replays like this, I'm signing you up for every single discount website I can find. Newsletters, my friend. You're going to be getting newsletters for the rest of your life. You need to switch email addresses and house addresses, because I'm going to find you.
I mean, it might be a League of Legends player that doesn't know that you can leave the game, or that it's normal to leave the game.
Do League players have to stay in till their
well, the game ends by themselves. Can you forfeit in League? Well, you can forfeit in Dota. So let's say it's Dota players that need to wait until their main building dies. They might genuinely not know. Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here, because surely he knows that he has lost this game. I don't believe that he thinks he can win this game anymore. Pretty sure he realized by the moment when he asked what to do against this composition.
Yeah, but I still stayed in for 17 minutes.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm actually going to have a look at his match history as well. I'm just really curious after this to see if he, if he always stays in till the very end. We can just see by the army supply tab, see whether he always has like 0 at the end. Yeah. Because maybe this could be very informative for Matcha Crepe. So for him wasting like 3.5 hours a day just staying in games he knew he lost. GG.
Oh, there it is. Sweet relief. All right. Well, quite the game. Quite the game.
Yeah.
Very long death animation. I'm going to have to be honest. I believed for a little bit there still. Out of those last 17 or so minutes, I still believe that there would be some comeback potential, but for the last 10 minutes, I wasn't really buying it. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, I stopped believing at the 12-minute mark, I think. But then, there's a thought creeping in the back of my head. It's lurking there. It's like, perhaps it is possible, It goes to the 2 layers, It's not just that this guy sends it and I pick it. No, I send it, then my guy checks and it's like, this is good. This is content. And he sends it over to me. I have a talk with my man Simple Geometry after this as well. This is not okay. All right, I'll put in the first guess. This was on Europe, and as mentioned, the submitter was the Red Terran, so that was Matcha Crepe. It's so hard for me because I think some things were quite good. It is possible he just has absolutely no clue against mech. But then the turrets and the bunker contain, it really messed with my head. I'm honestly just gonna go for 2.2, 2264. That's what I'll go for.
Yeah, that's very close to what I would have guessed. I think this is Silver League for sure. Damn it. I remember we had a replay which was 1.9k, which was definitely worse than this. Like, these guys didn't know how to make workers. These guys actually managed to get it up to quite a high supply. So I'm thinking 2,312 is my guess.
2,312 for lambo. I had 2,264, and the actual MMR of the submitter, who is called Psychophobe, is 2,413 MMR. And his opponent had 2,427. So very closely matched. Yet the difference couldn't have felt much bigger. So Lambo, once again, a win for you. European server really helping you out. 2,413 MMR. You guessed 2,312. So yeah, good job on that.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to be it for today's episode. I have a long meeting tonight with Simple Geometry, talking about how I see the content and how he sees the content, and where perhaps we could get closer together. Shout out to him as well. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time for more videos. Adios.